everyone, I'm back with another House of the Dragon video. Today I'm talking about when we might see the premiere episode of Season 2. Last year, some people were speculating that it could return toward the end of 2023, but that was never going to happen, with filming set to begin in March. The post production on this show is very lengthy, so this year is out. So, as a comparison, let's look at what the timing was for Season 1. They started filming in April of 2021, and they didn't wrap it all up until February of 2022. The season 1 premiere was August 21st of that year. So that means it took them approximately 6 months to complete all of the post production. The good news is that the filming schedule for season 2 isn't going to be as long. In an interview this past December, Ewan Mitchell, who plays Aemond, said that it will last 8 months. So that means they should be done by October or November of this year. If you then apply the 6-month post production schedule for season 1, that would mean if everything goes well, it's realistic to believe that we'll see season 2 in April or May of 2024. This would also put the series in that spring release timeframe that we saw for 7 of Game of Thrones' 8 seasons, so it makes sense. Now, the one possible hurdle I see in all of this is the potential for the post production to take longer for season 2. We're going to see even more dragons, battles, and action sequences that could impact that with all the CGI that it entails. I'm still optimistic, though, about that April or May range because they now have the initial season behind them, and a lot of what they're doing will become more routine. The show is a big success, so they know what works. Speaking of the show's success, I was a little surprised to see House of the Dragon win Best Drama Series at the Golden Globes. Last month, I did a video on the nominations and said that while I thought House of the Dragon had an outside shot, I believe Succession, or even Better Call Saul in its final season, might take home the award. So the win was a nice surprise, and really puts the series, and the franchise too, in a great spot. Game of Thrones was nominated 5 times, but they never won Best Series. And while we'll never forget the debacle that was the final season of that show, at least now, with House of the Dragon having been done so well, we can finally turn the page. Something interesting happened this week with Emilia Clarke. During an interview about her new film, The Pod Generation, Emilia was asked if she was watching House of the Dragon. The question gave her pause for a few moments, and then she responded no. She recovered after that and explained watching it would be like going to a school reunion that wasn't your year. It seems like Emilia might not be over the terrible ending that was written for her character in Game of Thrones, and you can't blame her for that. In the next month or so, we should be getting some casting announcements, particularly for 2 of the most significant characters that will appear in Season 2, Cregan Stark and Daeron Targaryen. I did background videos on both the Starks of Winterfell and Daeron, which I'll link in the description section below. I'll also be covering any significant news on the production of the show and its progress as news comes out. There are no significant positive developments so far on Winds of Winter. The last we heard from George on it was in December, when he said he was about 400 or 500 pages away from completion. For those that don't follow the books that closely, it's been about 11 and a half years since the last novel in A Song of Ice and Fire series was released in July of 2011. I have a lot of thoughts on why it's taken this long, but that'll be for another video at some point. George said that so far he's written about 1,100 or 1,200 pages of Winds of Winter. The last 2 novels were each around 1,100 pages. It's interesting that he still has hundreds of pages that he wants to add. Perhaps some of this is rewrites. Maybe some of what he completed before he ended up trashing. It's hard to say really because he didn't get into specifics beyond the number of pages he's written. So that's everything that's been going on recently with the show and the A Song of Ice and Fire world. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're not already subscribed, listen to Caraxes and subscribe now. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon.